Congrats, you did it. You raised your rates. And that is super exciting. Maybe it has something to do with updating your packages, and maybe you even sent your first proposal with this new number, and then things felt a little bit quiet. Maybe you have fewer inquiries, responses are slower, and you're thinking, oh crap, did I make a mistake? Did I price myself too high? Now, don't worry, we are going to examine all this. We're going to do a deep dive. And so what I see a lot of times is that people will jump back to their lower pricing when they get this anxiety. And they do it at a time when their things were about to work. So I want you to avoid all this. We are going to dive into pricing, and I am not going to tell you that your pricing is fine no matter what. I'm going to make sure that when you make decisions about pricing, you're doing so from intentionality and not from panic that is going to keep you continuously undercharging. So now you raise your rates, and now maybe it feels quiet, and the most obvious change is obviously the pricing. And so it feels like, oh, that's the cause, right? The pricing is the reason that it suddenly feels quiet. But remember, now I was a biology major, so I did a lot of research. Correlation is not causation. And it applies here too, as well as all my science things. And in business, the symptom and the source are often not the same things. So lowering your rates back down to what they were before is a panic response. And it feels like, okay, I'm taking action, I'm doing something. It feels more comfortable. I've resolved this issue. Great, let's move forward. But what that actually is a reaction to discomfort and not to actual data. And there is a difference between a strategic decision that is made intentionally and a decision based on anxiety. And it can be really difficult to tell what is leading your decision making in the moment. So before you touch your pricing, I want to dive in a little deeper into the picture of why things can suddenly feel really slow once you raise your prices. And there are 4 things to think about in this scenario, and they are visibility, positioning, messaging, and audience. And we're going to go through each one. So the first one is visibility. You raised your rates, but you're still showing up to the same, most likely smaller audience that found you when you were charging half that. And so this pool of people is too small, and you don't have enough data to give you any information either way. You cannot get data from such a small sample size. If we want to go back to my research days, we need more information. We need more visibility. We need to get this in front of more people to see. And so the fix here, when you don't have enough people in your audience, is not to lower your price. It is to be visible to more people and be visible to the right people. Now, I talk more about this in episode 123, which is pivoting your online business as a VA or OBM without starting from scratch. So check that one out if this is something that interests you. And then the second one is positioning. So now, most likely you are raising your rates because your skills have grown, your results have grown, your confidence maybe has also grown as well. But the way that you present yourself online has not caught up. You're still using the same bios, the same language, the same framing from before. So you are quoting a price at a higher end, but you're showing up at a lower end, and that feels really disconnected to clients. Because people don't just buy based on what you say you can do, they buy based on how they perceive you, how you're showing up. So if that perception hasn't shifted, if you haven't grown into that, then your pricing feels out of place, even when you do the work, even when it is completely justified. So take a look at your positioning, how you are showing up online, and make sure that it communicates the value, the higher level that now, you are acting as. Number 3 is your messaging. I see so many service providers, done for you service providers, base their messaging on tasks. And because it's natural, right? You think about, oh, this is what I do. So I help with email management, social media, admin support, operations, whatever. And when you talk about tasks, that signals a certain price point. when instead you talk about outcomes and transformation. Like, I help online business owners get their operations running without them. That's a really basic one. But basically, when you're communicating how you help them so they can make more money, so they can spend less time, and all the changes that happen because you're in their business, that is a different price point. That signals something different. So if the messaging is still at this task-based language, the pricing will always feel like a mismatch, both to the client and also to you, which is really, really important for when you show up and when you talk about your offers, when you talk about your prices, when you say, this is how much I charge, to stand behind that, you need to really believe in it. And you need to really stand behind what you do. So higher prices really need to be backed up by language that makes the value feel immediately understood. And I'm giving you so many other resources in this one. I dive more into this in episode 121, which is VAs and OBMs. You're not undercharging, you're under-articulating. So check that one out as well. And then number 4 is your audience. The people who were interested, attracted to your old offers, your old pricing, are oftentimes not the same people who are going to pay your new pricing. They're not there yet. They're at a different level in their business. Different price points attract different buyers with different budgets, different urgency, different expectations. So some of the quiet after you raise your rates is really because you don't have the right audience anymore. The people who you're not meant for anymore are stepping back. And I want you to think about this as a good thing, because the old energy is getting cleared. You are making way for new energy and new clients who are a good fit and who are excited, and more importantly, who want to pay you. So the next time that you are raising your rates, I invite you to remember that confidence does not come before you raise your rates. It actually comes after. I see so many service providers who are waiting to feel ready. Like, okay, I'm not ready yet. And the annoying part about this is that readiness happens after you do the thing. It happens through the decision, not before. So you raise your rates, you start showing up, and then you get the confidence when you start seeing the evidence of, oh, I'm able to attract a different caliber of client. Oh, this is happening. People want to pay me this. Then you get confident. So if you are waiting to feel confident, you are going to be waiting for a really long time. So it really is just a phase to move through. It really is kind of a faking it till you make it situation that your confidence will come after. The next thing to remember is that the pricing actually changes how you show up. Because when you're charging more, you're naturally going to communicate differently. You're going to hold the work that you do differently. Your boundaries are clearer. Your discovery calls shift. Your energy is different. The higher price point is not about what you attract. It also changes who you are and your identity in terms of who you are as a business owner and in the quality and the delivery of the work that you do. And the next one is that this silence that happens is sometimes just the market doing its job, meaning that we are saging your business. So this quiet inbox online, your email, it can feel like a rejection, but instead of thinking that, I invite you to reframe it. So this quietness is often these wrong fit clients self-selecting out. They're not a match anymore for you, and that's okay. They were a match for the old version of your business, and now you have evolved, you have grown. So the goal was never, and hopefully is never, to appeal to everyone. The goal is to be a clear yes for the right people. Your right people have shifted, and that's all. So losing the wrong ones is just a part of getting to the right ones. So we can lovingly thank them for getting you to where you are now, clear away that energy, sage them away, and excitedly welcome new people into your world. And lastly, there is also a hidden cost to undercharging. And because when you charge too little, you need more clients, right? It takes more time. You have income goals to hit and you're charging little, so you need more and more of all of these things. And more clients means less energy spent per client, less capacity to do good work overall, and more energy spent, honestly, overall. So over time, and I see this so much, and I felt it myself, resentment builds, even when you love what you do. The resentment can show up in the work, in the communications, how you show up on calls, procrastination, things like that. And so this changes when you charge higher. When you are charging what the work actually demands, it's not just about money. It's about having the energy to deliver at the level that your clients deserve and at the level that you get to fully stand behind. And I talk about this a lot when I do my free business audits. If you have not taken advantage of this, you will want to. And it is also one of the core things that we untangle inside of Expansion, which is my one-on-one coaching container for VAs and OBMs to package your expertise into a scalable, aligned offers so you can step away from all of this client chaos. You can increase your income and build a business that you are excited to run. And so before you panic, lower your rates. I invite you to ask yourself, has my visibility grown to match my new rate, or am I just presenting to the same small audience over and over and over again and expecting different results? Has my positioning and my messaging evolved with my pricing? Do I sound like someone who charges this amount, or am I still speaking in a way that's keeping me small? How long has it actually been? Because let me tell you that a few slow weeks means nothing. It's just a moment. Real data takes longer than that to actually gather. And lastly, who is actually in my audience? Are they people who can see and who can afford my value at this new price? Or do I need to go grow a new audience? So those are the things to question, to consider, and in order to really analyze your business intentionally, so you don't have to make panic decisions anymore. So you know now what questions to ask so you can make a decision that comes from a place of intention and not a place of panic. And I also want to assure you that this phase is completely normal. I know it kind of sucks. Transitions are hard, but it is there, and there will just naturally be a bit of a lag as you transition from who you were into who you are now. And one thing that I am so proud that I do is that I help my expansion clients shorten this lag significantly. So check out expansion in the show notes if this episode is speaking to you. And remember to really own your new rate and back it up with positioning and messaging that it deserves, and give it enough time. Gather some data. Don't just react to an uncomfortable week. And so with that, I would love to connect with you also online. You'll find me mostly on Instagram Threads and on LinkedIn. Let me know what comes up for you in this episode. I'm so interested, and I will see you on the next one. That's a wrap on today's episode, and thank you so much for listening. If anything we talked about today made you think, okay, but what does this actually look like in my business? That's exactly what a free business audit is for. In just 45 minutes, I'll help you identify your unstructured expertise, pinpoint what's keeping you capped, and map out what your signature method could look like. There's a link in the show notes to grab your spot, and I will see you in the next episode.